Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I want to share with you my specific recipe for a basic buttercream. This buttercream is the exact same buttercream that I use for all of my cakes and all of my desserts, and you can certainly customize this basic buttercream recipe to any other flavor that you would like to cover your cake with. So let's get started. First, I have the part that is going to make our frosting creamy. So I do have 1 cup of Crisco, which is butter flavored, and I have half a cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter. For this part, you can certainly do all butter, or you can also do all Crisco. You can also do equal half and half, but in this case, I am doing 1 cup and then half a cup. I do want to add that Crisco does make for a more stable frosting, but butter does give your frosting a lot better flavor than just using Crisco. So this is definitely an option that you can play with. Definitely try it out with either of them or with a combination of both to see what you prefer. For the next part, which will be to cream both the shortening and the butter, I am going to mix until the butter and the shortening become one. Sometimes what also happens is the longer that you mix, the better, because they'll both start losing color and your mixture will start turning a little bit more white. This is key for the rest of your buttercream. So in order for your buttercream to be super creamy, you want to make sure to combine your shortening and your butter very well. For my sugar, I will be adding 7.5 cups of powdered sugar. If you are only making 1 cup of butter or 1 cup of vegetable shortening, then what I usually do is only use 5 cups. But in this instance, I'm using 1.5 times that, so I'm going to do 7.5 cups. To start, I did go ahead and add 4 cups first, and what I'm doing is I'm just slightly mixing this by hand just to make sure that none of this flies all over the place. If you do have a stand mixer, it's a lot easier because you can just place a cover or a towel on it, but this method also works. You just have to be a little bit more careful. Now that most of my ingredients have kind of incorporated, I will go ahead and add the remainder of my sugar. So I did add 4 cups, now it's 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to do a half. Now, in order for this to incorporate really well, I will also be adding a little bit of liquid, and I am going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of milk. If you see that your frosting is still too stiff, you can certainly add another tablespoon of liquid. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more. When your frosting has reached this consistency, then you're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of vanilla or whatever flavor that you want to use. But in this case, I am going to make my frosting vanilla flavored. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons. And I am using imitation vanilla. You can certainly use natural vanilla or any other flavoring that you like. In addition to the vanilla, I'm also adding in a spritz of Himalayan sea salt. You can use any other salt that you have, but I'm just going to do 2 grinds, and that's it. The salt is basically to offset the sweetness of your frosting. You can definitely skip this step. You don't have to do it. I just like to add it because I can feel the difference versus just having a sweet frosting. All right, you guys, so that is how the basic vanilla cake recipe turns out. Let me show you exactly how smooth this is. Here's how my buttercream turns out, and this recipe, like I mentioned in the beginning, you can definitely modify it to any other flavor that you want. It doesn't have to be vanilla. You can add anything else you want on it. You can also omit the salt if you don't want it in there. And here's how smooth it is right after you make it. So I am going to use this frosting to try to make a fault line cake. Definitely let me know what you think about this recipe. I will post the entire recipe on my website, so make sure that you visit me there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your questions and comments down in the comment box below. Definitely share this video with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye! I also forgot to mention that I do have 1.5 batches of my basic buttercream recipe. It is vanilla flavored.